Good afternoon and welcome to live scenes from Cebu, where they are getting set for their opening match at their famed grounds for their first home contest hosting Philippine Army FC. Exciting times in Cebu, and this is going to be the first of many at this famed ground, known for its fantastic atmosphere. Currently, Cebu looking to get back underway in the Philippines Football League after some busy times in the Southeast Asian tour at the moment with the Shopee Cup. And things about to get started here. Jingham Lang and Glenn Casas calling the action. Excited to bring you this match between Cebu and Philippine Army.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Philippine Army FC and your dynamic curve Cebu FC.
First home game of Cebu FC at the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex. They have a great record on these grounds, known to be a hostile environment for any visitor. Abu C, the captain of Cebu, lined up alongside Jemar Cortez, his opposite number from Philippine Army. Today's match will be led by Jesus Abogado in the middle. He will receive support from Giovanni La Chica, Michael Rojo, and Ian Christopher Salon on the sideline. Again, Jingham Lang and Glenn Casas calling the action for you guys in this exciting contest between Cebu and Philippine Army. It's been a long wait for Cebu to get back into the mix here in the Philippines Football League. Last match was in the end of November, so it's been a long wait for them. Finally, it's time to get back into action on the domestic stage, and they're going to do so in front of their home fans. Expectations for this one, Glenn?
Well, of course, first game back after a while, first domestic game back after a while. It has been shown that sometimes when they make changes, when they make adjustments right in the middle of the season, it could be a make or break for the team. And right now, we're really seeing somewhat a different Cebu in the outing today, which could determine where they might end up in the last few days of football or few weeks of football.
Certainly some familiar faces there. We talked about Abu C, their captain. Corre is on that list. You see Leo Makiling, who's going to get a chance to lead the way today. Glenn Ramos is a familiar face. Jaime Rosquillo alongside Brian Villanueva. But there's also quite a few changes to this lineup with the likes of Noah Liddell making way and finding a different club. Rico Andes as well. Camille Amirul has gone. Charles Dabao III, June Badelik, JB Borlongan. A lot of changes to this side. of head coach Glenn Ramos, we are going to see what will be the difference. Meanwhile, for Army, saw action quite recently. Of course, it wasn't the best in terms of a confidence builder against Tuloy FC. They lost that contest 6-2. We are underway.
Well, this could really make or break. With one game in hand, Cebu has some sort of an advantage, especially now that most of their games this half of the season will be played home. So this has been I think it was an impregnable fortress for them so far, and I think it could still be that hostile ground that they're looking for, the advantage that they could have to turn themselves around this season.
Villanueva continuing on that left back position. Get an opportunity to reacquaint ourselves with this Cebu side who's got Jesse Semblante in goal instead of the usual Jiridi. Keelan getting it forward. Opportunity now for Cebu, and it is the opening goal. They've wasted little time on the score sheet after 1 minute of play. That's about as good a start as you can hope for. It is the captain, Abu C, getting them started.
Yeah, and you could see that there was practically no one giving Abu C a hard time. Nobody there closing up the space or denying opportunities like that. He just took the shot after they've given him the space to do so. It's like as close as you get as an invitation.
Abu C getting forward in an area which Philippine fans will have gotten to know him. Those forward positions. He's done fantastic there. Dream start para sa koponan ni Coach Glenn Ramos. Meanwhile, it's a nightmare beginning here for Army. Cross into the box, that's headed away by the returning Demiroglu. Turkish defender has grown somewhat synonymous with the Cebu Football Club. It's good to see him back in a familiar setting. And there he is.
Very iconic, especially with the hair.
And he's been closed down quickly here by Armin. He's lost possession. Lifted over the top. White shirts making their way into the box, and that will be a save for Mark Anthony Badia.
And again, it's the denial of the area that's really lacking for Army right now. They have quite exposed themselves early on this game, that little gap on that right side, and Cebu will not hesitate to take advantage.
Unable to keep that attack alive. Skilio gets his head to it. Demiroglu launched that one instead of using the goalkeeper. They've managed to keep possession here. Looking for the run on the right wing. That connection not quite there yet. Glenn, napag-usapan natin that ang daming movement ng squad ng Cebu FC. Isa sa mga players that perhaps will benefit from the many departures is Leo Makiling, who's looked promising this season, although he hasn't had many minutes. Although when he is on the pitch, he's showcased on quite a few occasions that he is a potent weapon para dito sa koponan ng Cebu.
And that is a good chance for him. I mean, if my numbers are correct, he's currently got 4 goals this season so far. And despite the limited number of minutes, he usually comes in as an impact sub. So that could mean a lot.
Another opportunity for Cebu, but it is offside. See the intention. Philippine Army opting to play a high line these days. Cebu more than willing to take advantage every chance they get.
And considering that they are using a 4-5-1 formation, meaning they really want to have a lot of people inside the middle of that box to give them problems, but at the same time pushing them up forward, that could create problems for themselves in the counter-attacking sense.
Escalante gets another touch. It's been brought in from Loyola alongside John Clyde Vitualia, mga bagong recruits ng Cebu. It's all looking very fluid at the moment. Also got a new defensive midfielder in Willie Edgar Kapawa. Great pass forward. Opportunity here. Flag is up. But it's looking very dangerous early on here, Abu C.
And again, it's that space on that right side that they are really taking advantage of. If I'm not mistaken, there's this little space that you would see between Palacio and Soriano on that right side where there's this avenue, ang lawak ng pagpapasahan. Easy.
Certainly some adjustments needing to be made here for Army. Being carved open with regularity here in the early stages. Kapawa. Villanueva has his head up. Vituala. Into the box it goes. Abu C is gonna lift that over for Cebu's second goal. A brace now for Abu C. He's done it in a hurry.
Goal for Dynamic Herb Cebu FC.
Look at that. And that is no easy goal by any means, but you really have that instinct to know that when the keeper is really close to you and you have that chance to just lift the ball with just the right amount of power, that should do the job. And Abu did that perfectly.
Quality work from Abu C, who's enjoying his return at the tip of the spear here for Cebu, and he's lifted that one ever so delicately over Bedia to make it 2-0 for Cebu. Philippine Army looking shell-shocked at the moment. They're gonna need to dig in here.
That was a rare opportunity for Army to push forward. Looking for Palacios, who was nowhere near that pass when it happened.
For space on the right side. Unable to deal with the danger this time. Bedia will launch it. Square pass. Flirting with danger. But it makes its way to Villaseñor. Soriano. Better spell of possession here from Army.
It's Cebu's midfield that's really giving them a hard time to break through that half of the pitch.
Villaseñor getting it forward. Ariola has peeled out wide. Opportunity perhaps to pull the trigger here. Trying to wriggle his way through, and it's going to be a foul. Edge of the box. No hesitation from the referee. Jesus Abogado calling for a free kick here in favor of Army. But he's called it for an infraction outside the box, not inside.
And that was just the shortest, the slightest of margins there. One more touch and that foul inside the box and the penalty.
Measuring our two options, Nico Palacio and John Celis. 5-man wall for Cebu. And that is blasted. Wayward. Nico Palacio will be hoping he gets that one back.
Well, you'd really want to have a lot of that to make that spin. But if you don't know how to really aim for that sweet spot on the ball, you're likely to blast it in the sky.
Dia looking to go long. Villanueva all the way back. Demiroglu spotting the run on the left side. Vituala. He's going to put in the cross. It's going to go out for a corner kick. The 26-year-old from Cebu, John Clyde Vituala, to take this one. Left-footed delivery is a deep one. Cushioned in, and it is almost a third for Cebu. Doktuk Demiroglu right in front of goal. Actually, I think it's going to be counted.
Yeah, from the looks of it. I mean, I think everybody got caught ball watching there while Cebu was making the most of the little spaces wedged in between.
Wow. It gets from bad to worse here for Philippine Army. Conceding once more here in the 14th minute. It's coming from a corner kick. There's a nice centered header from the deep delivery on the corner. Demiroglu, the player most alive inside the box, able to bundle that one home. And what a return to Cebu on the score sheet already early on here.
Plus, he has that height advantage as well, that he towers up above the defenders. And for Army, that was really a big ask.
Finally, a touch on the ball there for Rino Gautier. It's returned now to the fold here in Cebu after a lengthy layoff due to injury. Also left the club momentarily, but now he's back. He's going to be a big addition for them in the middle of midfield. Bedia. It's been a rough start to this game, and he's trying to dribble away. No whistle, and it is a goal for Abu C.
Wow.
Mark Anthony Bedia extremely upset. But it's a 15-minute hat trick for Abu C.
I really thought that was going to be called a foul because Abu C was really roughing up Bedia back there.
Dynamic Arts Cebu FC, player 77, Abu C.
Mark Anthony Bedia opting to play with fire, and he certainly got burned on that play. He's trying to shield the ball on Abu C. The Senegalese striker accepted the invitation, applied a bit of pressure, and he's gotten his just rewards. Let's have a look at it here. He's dilly-dallying Bedia. Puts his body in the way. He says he got clipped. It might have been contact initially, but when he did fall, it looked like he had just lost his balance. Assistant referee, as well as the main official, uninterested in his tumble there. And that's the reason why you see that number on your screen. It is 4-0 to Cebu. Although there's going to be a conversation here between the officials. Soriano here is going to get booked. This is foolish from the veteran player. He's gotten physical with our referee. He's definitely going to get booked. The question is, what color is he going to receive?
And from the replay itself, it really did look like he clipped his own leg, Bedia, there when he was already on his way down to the ground. The C was a bit with a distance between the both of them. So I don't know why they are still fighting this over.
Jesus Abogado is being generous here. He's been shoved twice by Baking Soriano. Now, only a yellow card given to the defender. And perhaps he's showing a bit of sympathy here given how much of a disaster this start has been for Cebu. You should imagine that Jalso Soriano needs to be very careful here. An interesting moment there, Glenn, as it definitely looked like there was contact with the goalkeeper, but it was the timing of his fall after the contact happened and he was making his way into space, tsaka siya nahulog at tumambling.
And I think that's what they were trying to argue there. Na there was contact indeed, and you would have to agree that there was a little bit of contact there. But 50-50 says that that could have been a fair shoulder to shoulder.
So here we have it. That has to go down as one of the fastest hat tricks, or earliest hat tricks you will get in a game. Abu C managing something incredible. Meanwhile, for Army, they can be upset by that last sequence. But more so, they should be upset with their performance. It hasn't been a good start at all, but they could change things here. Chance for Army, the rebound is in. Game on.
They might be going down, but looks like they're going down fighting there. Oh, I think Cebu was waiting for that whistle, but that shot came out, and they were just not reacting as quick as Ariola there to just tap that in.
Let's take a look at this. Nico Palacio was able to unleash sting in the gloves of Jesse Semblante, who has been denied a clean sheet here. Jimuel Ariola, alert and alive, picks up his second goal of the season. Mukhang nabuhayan dito ang Philippine Army.
And you know how dangerous momentum can be in football.
Another opportunity. He's taken a snapshot there, and Palacio has missed the target. He's arguing it took a touch. Referee disagreeing with him. Still a commanding lead here for Cebu, but you can sense a change in demeanor here from Army. Knock on to Kore. Moves it on. Abu C will make his way into the middle. Makiling delivers it. It's perfect. Abu C makes it 5-1 Cebu.
And this time Army was not in formation, unlike the earlier goals, but still, you know what happens if you just allow that counter to flourish like that. Look at how much space they've given Abu C right on that center area, and then he just had to control it. He could have taken a couple more touches, but he didn't need it.
Put on a plate by Leo Makiling. It was a lovely ball to get in between the two defenders, but in the end, so much room for Abu C to control, pick his spot, and fire it into the back of the net. If his hat-trick was not completed in record time, I think this might be a first for 4 in a game, and we haven't even made it to halfway in this opening period. Incredible stuff from Abu C. And the troubles continue here for Army. They've just conceded. Now it looks like they might be losing their captain, Jmar Cortez, who is seemingly struggling with something with his hamstring.
I think that could have something to do with going full out on Abu C like that, despite Abu C getting the better of him several times this outing. But you would really have to ask the question there, where were the rest of the defense when Abu C was seemingly already on his way into that front area of the goal? So no one was, you could not even see a shadow of a defender that was closing in on him at that time.
At siguro ito yung medyo frustrating para sa mga sumusunod dito sa Philippine Army. Of course, it's a team with an incredible legacy in the top flight of Philippine football. It is a club that used to be synonymous with quite a bit of success. Times have changed for them, but perhaps what is most frustrating is the lack of cohesion, the lack of fight, and the lack of intensity that would have been synonymous to this team in the past. Sa ngayon, medyo hindi natin nakikita ang mga characteristics na yan. And, you could talk about tactics all you want and technique of the players, but without those basic things, it'll be very difficult to find success in this league, particularly against a strong side like Cebu. Miller Akiapat entering the fray as Cortez is forced off with injury.
Guban Renz, replaced by player number 23, Margarsen Nesorio.
And also, it looks like Renz Gumban has been replaced by Boogie Margarse,
Player number
the veteran former national team player and Army legend, has entered a little earlier than he is used to. Normally comes on in the second half. Of course, is a little bit advanced in age now these days, but they need some sort of stabilizing force in the middle. We're going to see how long Boogie Margarsi can play in this game.
The day unmarked. Replaced by player number.
Again, Army is really just... It might not be the same long ball principle that we're used to, seeing the ball hoofed out from defense all the way to the front, but the mindset is, well, they kind of reverted back to that same one, trying to hope that somebody was making a run for it without actually seeing if someone was making a run. Army just hopes that somebody would be in front when they pass the ball.
Will be a corner kick. Deep delivery, this time Army able to defend. Still bouncing around dangerously. They get it back out wide. Ramos with the cross. It's a dangerous moment here. It's punched out, but not very convincingly.
Definitely the shakiest of clearance. Those last few attempts, Army just couldn't get the ball away from them.
Celis. That one was well spotted. Roy Kent Bedia has checked into the game as well, so it was a triple substitution actually. They brought in Margarse, they brought in Akiapat, and they brought in Roy Kent Bedia. Philippine Army desperate to turn the tide here after a very difficult start to the game. It's been a whirlwind for that man, Mark Anthony Bedia. Just picked the ball out from the back of his net already 5 times. If there were any questions as to how excited Cebu are to be back playing in front of their home fans, we're certainly getting a glimpse here of how dangerous they can be. Drop ball, play on. Kent Bedia back in action for Philippine Army. Scored a wonderful goal against Tuloy to open the scoring just a few days ago. Scored from close to the halfway line. Incredible technique. Of course, it was in a losing effort for Cebu, unfortunately, or for Philippine Army rather, against Tuloy. Lost 6-2 to Tuloy in their last game. Right now, things not looking much better against Cebu. C takes it away. Ariola dropping deep. Finds an outlet. green shirts flooding forward. Good hold-up play from Celis. It's been moved back out wide, which is perhaps a more familiar role for him.
So far, it's really been a difficult exit for Philippine Army to get past that half line. It's like they always almost stalls every time they find some space to move up forward because they're still waiting for some of their teammates to go forward.
Room on the right side. Makiling. Gets it to Abusi. Villanueva, nice little drop at the shoulder. Vitwala looking for the return, unable to get it. Nice turn. Makiapat. Just a bit sloppy there from Army after some initial good work on the right side.
I think they wanted to just get Villasenor to find that little space on that right flank, but he wasn't able to get back quick enough.
Not on the same wavelength. Kapat has looked confident with the ball at his feet. Had it poked away, and it's going to go into the hands of Semblante. Kapawa keeps it moving. Demiroglou gets it out wide. Looks like Jaime Rusquillo is playing at right back today. Villanueva in the center back role. And Vitwala at left back is virtually playing as a wing back here as he's spending more time in the opposition half than he is defending. Another corner kick.
Rusquillo and Vitwala. Yeah, and I think the profile fits both of the wing backs right now. They do have a lot of pace when the ball is with them, so it kind of does make sense to put them in that position.
Glenn Ramos lining this one up. Goalkeeper struggling here, it looks like. Mark Anthony Badia. Philippine Army could be forced into another save here, or to another substitution rather. And that would be a second window that they burn before halftime.
Substitution for Philippine Army.
There is the substitution.
25. Replace player number 5.
Carl Viray will enter the game for Mark Anthony Badia. That is the fourth change for Philippine Army.
It's really turning into disadvantage after disadvantage for the men in green right now. No more room for tactical substitutions because of that.
We've got 4 more players on the bench still unutilized, one of them a goalkeeper, Dele Riarte. So not a lot of options now on the bench. Trying to navigate the press. Cebu make them pay. They're struggling here. Looks like Glenn Ramos is struggling with something. Looking for Abu C. He's denied. Army can break here. Ariola showed a little too much to Kapawa.
That was a golden chance for them to really just flip on the counter there while most of Cebu was out of position. Ariola let his touch fail them. Oh.
Cebu have lost the likes of Kamis, Esram Paulos. Some pretty potent weapons in terms of their foreign contingent, but it seems they have been able to recruit quite well during the transfer window, which remains open for at least another week. Lovely work in the middle. Return pass was a bit short from Glenn Ramos. He's clipped there. Clear foul. Miller Aquiapat sticks out a leg. Clips Ramos quite clearly there.
Ramos does well to just keep the ball away from Aquiapat. It's that foul.
It's a little bit tight on the left side for Army. Villaseñor. Cebu doing well with their high press, causing enough troubles that Army give up possession.
I think Army has looks like I was just about to say that they were about to they seem like they might have managed to cover that area from earlier, but now that a player is on the ground again, I might have spoken too soon.
We've got John Robert Solen, Jemar Acedo to choose from. John Art Lunaspe is listed as a forward. So we will see what the plan is here as we take a look at Jalsor Soriano, who's struggling with a few things here, it looks like. Initially, he was holding on to what looked like his adductor. Now, it looks like he's struggling a little bit from potentially a shoulder injury, which he struggled from in the match against Tuloy. There's also a bit of tape on his chest, so you wonder if he's struggling with something there. But he battled it out and fought on in the match against Tuloy. We'll see if he will continue here.
That really puts them at an even more disadvantage here, with Soriano one of their more reliable players, especially in defense.
lot of time left in the first half. Philippine Army successful in stopping the bleeding for the time being after a very rough start to the game.
But at the same time, you could really tell that the first 5 goals really knocked the wind out of the soldiers right now because they are not moving with intent.
Soriano under pressure. Send it long. As happy as they will be with the scoreline, Cebu are hunting a 6th. Possibly they would be disappointed if they did not find the back of the net at least one more time before the break. The fluidity proving a bit more difficult in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Cebu has certainly been tuned. You could still see the runs being made up front, especially by C, who loves to really torment the defense. But so far, Army has been able to cope.
Off his line, anticipating the danger there was Carl Viray. Switching flanks. Pass through the lines was cut out. Final 30 in regulation in this first half. Abu C. Opportunity, and that one fired wide. Actually, that looked like Corre, who made a forward run.
Yeah, that left side is Corre's favorite position, and he is kind of a similar profile as Abu C. Big, quick, and really strong. So they were trying to take advantage of the space that now started to exist on that left side this time around.
Five minutes added on. A few stoppages to deal with some injuries. There were some forced substitutions on the side of Philippine Army. And of course, you have to add in the time after goals, where there have been plenty. Celis is well watched the entire way by Rosquillo. It's good defending from the Barotac Nuevo native. It's a clear foul, clipped from behind. Roglu getting it forward. Nice first touch from Makiling. Return ball never made it though. This is where Cebu have thrived, applying the pressure inside the opposition half. C.
I thought Sapal was about to get away.
Man who has wriggled free is Vituaya. His cross makes it into the box. Second opportunity, hits the crossbar.
that was Army tried their best to cover up the spaces there. You can see the movement of Reno Gautier. He wanted to take that shot straight away before they could close in.
Close to a sixth for Cebu. Sapal. Been a good addition to Army. Second game now for his new club. It's difficult to do it on your own. Sapal joining from Aguilas Yuma. Brought down well. Leo Makiling arriving. Army surviving another wave of attack from Cebu. Are eager to finish emphatically here in this first half, if you can believe it. Viray misses it. Chance here for Cebu to add that exclamation. They're unable to make the most of that situation. Play continues.
Really close
There
for Cebu.
is.
They had to just pull the trigger.
The halftime whistle at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex, where the home side Cebu are running rampant against the Philippine Army. It finishes 5-1 at the break. We'll be right back.
Substitution 4.
Welcome back. Action restarted in Cebu.
17. Naoki Tokaso. Replaced by player.
Substitution for Cebu.
Player 3. Shin Ochai. Replaced by player number 18. Kore Kore.
Seeing a few changes. It looks like Korea has been removed. C has been removed as well.
Replaced by player number 45, Rhinon Gautier.
Gautier has been moved on as well, as Coach Glenn Ramos has decided it's time for a new set of players to get some vital experience. Glad you could join us. Action from the Dynamic Herb Sports Center. Jing Hamlang and Glenn Casas calling the action. So far, Cebu in a dominating position with a second half still to play.
And so far, by the time that the first half ended, you would really think that Army was starting to get a grasp of things, but it could also be a chance that Cebu was just getting ready for the second half as well. Momentum clearly was right in the balance by the end of the first half.
Opportunity right in front of goal, and they have not needed much time to get back into scoring ways. Another one for Cebu. Again,
You could see how easy that was. The movement was just so direct. The header was placed so nicely there as well.
he was a player that we mentioned to keep a close eye on today. It's Leo Makiling finding the back of the net. It's a good cross into the box, but he was all alone in front of goal. And Leo Makiling doesn't miss from that kind of range. Six goals now for Cebu. And you have to feel for Army here, whatever they discussed in the 15 minutes during the break. It certainly did not involve them conceding another goal so close after the restart.
It's at this time that Army really needs to react quicker on the ball when they're on the back foot like that. But Cebu really just does it quicker.
Floated in from the right-hand side. The delivery from Makiling. Five-goal difference between the two teams. They've conceded early here as well. Glenn, what does Philippine Army need to do to stop the bleeding, perhaps find a way back into this game?
Well, you'd really think the answer would be to pull more people back, but right now, what Army is really lacking is just the reaction of each player when it comes to losing the ball and seeing that it's already in critical parts of the half. You need to see people closing down on open players that Army is really having. I think we discussed it earlier, the one-on-one aspect when a defender has to go on his lonesome and against an attacker. There is a really high chance that the top teams like Cebu just go over them.
Placed in a tricky position here, Cebu.
Cebu again almost exploiting the three-man defense that you could see from Army. They have this tendency to use 5 people going to the back, but there's always this layer between the line in front, and that's the little gap that Cebu would really loves to take advantage of, and that's where they keep losing the ball. Now that was just a close one for them.
It's a problem that is persisting here para kay Jalsor Soriano. At tinawag na dito ang stretcher, so that's gonna be another worry here for Philippine Army. And let's remember, they already took 2 windows for substitutions in that first half. So they may have to play all of their cards at once here. If Jalsor Soriano is forced off, that'll be their final window. And seeing as they did not make any changes at halftime, this would be their final opportunity to get a player in. Well, actually, they don't have too many choices here, Glenn. They have already made 4 changes. Carl Viray in goal. They've brought in Miller Akiapat, Roy Kent Bedia, and Boogie Margarce. They can only make 5, so this is it. Whoever replaces Jalsor Soriano will complete the cast that will finish the game for Philippine Army.
And you have to remember, the value of Jalsor Soriano is not only is he their most stubborn defender right in the middle, but at the same time he also is able to do some passes from that transition from defense to the midfield. So whoever they have to put in his place should be able to do those 2 responsibilities as well, the transition from defense to attack. And more importantly, kailangan ni Army right now is to be able to close those gaps, those little windows of opportunities that Cebu keeps on taking advantage of.
Pumasok na nga ang number 14 na si John Art Lunaspe. Siyang pumalit kay Jalsor Soriano. As you mentioned, Glenn, leaves a huge hole for Army. Defensively, offensively, as well as in terms of experience and leadership. So Cebu, they may smell blood in the water here and look to pile on the pressure as they hunt a 7th goal in this game. Cebu been so good at suffocating Army. Demiroglu getting it forward. Makiling appearing in a pocket. Return ball is a bit loose, but they keep possession. Opportunity here for Cebu. Chance! That one fired wide.
But that would have been a great team goal right there. The passage of play, laying off the ball, and then the finishing. That was the only thing that was lacking. Look at the movement here. Just getting through the defenses.
It is another goal for Cebu. Shortly after Asano's miss, they've brushed aside the disappointment and they've added a 7th to their tally. And the nightmare continues for Philippine Army as they are being swept aside with some style by the home team.
Well, you could say that this is one way of showing up in front of your home crowd, and Cebu certainly wants to make the most of that.
Here is that moment. It's Glenn Ramos making the most of his opportunity as he joins the scoring party. Great run on the right side. Leo Makiling trying to find a teammate. Unable to be turned in. Attack still alive. Went for goal there. Sigh of relief from Carl Viray.
We're just giving them problems right down that wing, and that pass was beautifully done. trying to get the runner in a good position in space on that right side.
Army finding it very difficult to get out of their own half. Finally, they find a bit of breathing room. Difficult one to bring down. Room down the left side. It needed a better cross.
This time Cebu was just trying to probe for some runners there. And they know they have really quick players up front that could just surprise the defense, that they're already hearing the ball. Loses that under pressure.
There goes down. Took a bit of contact there on the back. Nueva has moved over to the right side. No, actually it's gone against Cebu. We're getting acquainted here with Kaito Asano as well as Naoki Takasu. A pair who have gone on in place of Kore and Abu Si, who ran rampant in that first half. Found a bit of success on the left side, but not on this occasion. There's quite a size discrepancy in that battle, but Celis gets there. Demiroglu this time getting his body in the way.
I was expecting that Celis was going to win that foot race, but Demiroglu was just as fast for a man his size.
He's had an enjoyable return to action for his former club here. They're right at home, back in Cebu. So another good run here from Leo Makiling. Can he find the back of the net? He's stopped by Viray. Opportunity now. Blocked on this occasion. Viray perhaps familiar with what Leo Makiling wanted. They've locked horns, or should you say locked beaks, in the UAAP. Carl Viray from the Falcons and Leo Makiling from the Blue Eagles. Villanueva juggling his way to the edge of the box. The 19-year-old will be called for the foul.
The space was opening up for Philippine Army's defense again. That foul came in a very timely spot.
Very busy day in the Philippines Football League. 4 games on this midweek fixture. Chance here for Cebu. Trying to get the ball out of his feet here. It's all very tight with a sea of green inside that box. Villanueva going down rather theatrically. There is a foul on Leo Makiling.
And again, there's this really nice piece of dribbling there coming from Leo Makiling. Really quick on his feet.
While this game takes place in Cebu, another match is also in progress at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Still 0-0 between Kaya and Maharlika. Earlier on, Manila Digger won by some margin in their contest against Valenzuela PB Mendiola. There is still one more match as well later on this evening, with Aguilas and Stallion set to see action later on. So lots to enjoy in terms of top flight of Philippine football tonight. So not quite as fast a start for Cebu in this second half, but they have already hit the back of the net.
And it seems that the momentum may have started to shift away from Cebu, but Cebu really is just taking it easy right now. It's Army right now who really needs to step things up whenever there's little gaps of space being given to them in midfield.
Top, it's a great one. Opportunity there, golden opportunity at that for Cebu. That one fired well off the mark. It was a good run initially, but the finishing wasn't there to match.
Good job for Ramos to time that run well and keep the flag down. But when he saw that he could take it on a volley, instead of just taking the touch, he had to pull the trigger. And that was a really hard skill, the volley, to take the shot while it's still in the air.
Building up, bypassing the midfield, but not on the same wavelength with the forward line. Cebu, not in any particular hurry at the moment. Roglu, who's wearing the captain's armband in place of Abu Si, who started off as captain. Makiling playing the ball through, putting Weba's ball straight into the arms of Viray.
Good catch from Makiling to see that Villanueva could take a run, but that was just a poor cross coming from Villanueva.
Trying to thread the needle. Not where Ariola wanted that pass. This is where the struggles of Army really get compounded. They're doing a lot of running, chasing the ball. They haven't had the opportunity to get a breather when they do have possession. Celis. They just haven't been able to take care of possession well. Opportunity now here for Cebu. Long range effort into the hands of Viray. Makiling trying to set up a teammate. Not the best of strikes. Margarse. Maspe gives it away.
Cebu has really been the sole dictator of possession here in this game. They easily recover it and just doesn't really do a lot of stressful things with it.
Making their way over to the left side, Dariola. It's better from Army, keeping possession. Bit of a loose touch there. Almost getting punished. Jomari Sapal under a lot of pressure. Navigating down the left side. Long range effort! It was always rising.
No longer being harried or hurried in any point of the pitch right now. They could just take it easy and take long distance shots like that unbothered.
In terms of an audition though, for the likes of Takasu and Asano, who have taken up these forward positions in the second half, the Japanese duo have not had their shooting boots on yet.
And to be more on point with that, if you notice, the moment that Kore and C had stepped out, it's like yung Makiling stepped in even further, because we were mentioning him already in the first half, but right now you could see most of the ball being played on that favored right side, because him and Villanueva just loves to pass it around.
Another substitution for Cebu as Kapawa is replaced in the middle by Kazuha Sudo. So now there's a Japanese trio out there. Whereas in the past there was a very heavy Australian influence to their foreign contingent. Now they've replaced it with a large Japanese one. There's been a foul called against Cebu. Interesting here. Let's have a look. Is they saying it was handball? It looks like there might be a penalty for Philippine Army here. Wow. One more look at it. Headed away. It bounced rather awkwardly. Or was it a pull off the ball there? Wow, what a call from Jesus Abogado. It didn't look a lot. It didn't look like there was a lot in it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to process that, and I'm having a hard time finding out what that foul was about. But referee saw something that perhaps our angles have a bit skewed.
It looked like there might have been a pull, perhaps to deny the Army player an opportunity to get to the ball more quickly. Nevertheless, an opportunity here for Army to get a second goal in the game. And it looks like it's going to be John Celis who's going to take this. Celis! And it is a goal for Philippine Army. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Celis makes it 7-2.
Might look easy if you're just watching it from the screen, but you have to have that confidence to really hoof that in and put that beyond the keeper's reach. Without that confidence, you could either overshoot or not have enough power in it. And look at that. I'd say that was a lot of power behind it.
Sobrang daming power, Glenn. Lumabas ulit yung bola mula dun sa net.
May konting gigil pagdating sa ila.
FC. Player number 28, Celis John.
That's going to be some confidence for John Celis. This match might be a lost cause at this point, but certainly something that could boost John Celis' season. Space on the left side here for Cebu. As you can see, they're still finding those connections up front. Finding the run in the middle. It's a fantastic goal. Offside is called on Leo Makiling. He's going to be very disappointed as it was a tidy finish taken first time.
Yeah, from the look of the run there, it looked like he already was ahead of the last defender back there. Hence, there was not a lot of chance stopping him.
He's looked particularly sharp and motivated today. Gets an opportunity to impress in front of the home crowd. He's from Cebu City. Itong si Leo Makiling. Doing enough to stave off another attack. Pass was allowed to run. Got a bit too intricate there.
I think Cebu really had another opportunity to add to the tally, but Asano had to hesitate there for a split second.
Not a lot of time left in the match. 11 minutes and change.
Substitution for Dynamic Curve Cebu FC, player number 4.
This is the second consecutive Philippine Army has scored the PFL. So for 2 straight games, they have been scoring. It's just they really need to mend their defenses.
Orale has come on. It looks like in place of Brian Villanueva. Long range efforts. What a goal! Unbelievable strike from way out from Jaime Rosquillo. Look at this missile.
Nice and low and a lot of power. And no one was closing in on him because they think that he was just going to pass that ball. And I think his teammates were expecting that too, but Rosquillo saw that space, that little gap, and blasted it.
He hit that so sweetly. You can see the technique incredible from Rosquillo. What a beauty to make it 8-2 in favor of Cebu.
That looks like it would be his third tally for Cebu.
He's been regular on the score sheet. Very dangerous on set pieces, Jaime Rosquillo, but that one was a thing of beauty in open play. Cebu looking for a penalty, not given.
Army got away well with that.
Foul called. Actually, the disappointment of the Cebu crowd.
And considering that they're already winning by some margin, you'd think that they'd have a little bit more lax when it comes to those kinds of fouls.
It shows you the mindset here of Cebu. They want as many as they can get in this contest. It is of a party atmosphere in Cebu at the moment. They certainly want to make it a little livelier yet. Apologies to the body from Celis. Army under pressure here. Cebu hunting a ninth. What a ball from Demiroglu. And it's another one, almost. It hit the corner of the goal. Incredible long-range effort, hits the crossbar there, bounces. The player was offside. In the end, didn't make contact anyway, Kazuha Sudo. They're getting closer here to a ninth. This could be it. Unable to sort his feet out in time. There's a player down for Army. Cebu uninterested in putting this ball out. And finally, play will be stopped. Roy Kent Bedia is the player down for Army. Looks like there's going to be some strong words being shared between some players here as Cebu refused to put the ball out.
Looks like Medea isn't getting up. So they are might be calling in the stretchers there. Wonder what I'm still trying to recollect if there was any sort of contact.
Boogie Margarsi here continuing the conversation with Orale and Sudo, it looked like. It does have a point. There was an ample opportunity to get that ball out of play, to allow the player some treatment. It looks a serious one here for Roy Kent Bedia. Not sure where the contact was, but he's able to get back on his feet here, and that's good news for Army because they cannot make any more substitutions. And they'd love to be able to finish this match off with 11 on the pitch.
Cebu, on the other hand, they really feel that 8-2 is not enough for them. Especially if you're thinking about currently when the goal difference, Cebu is the one lagging behind the other teams. One Taguig with 45, Kaya 41, Manila Digger with 37.
Army denied the opportunity for a cross. It's been some time since they've been venturing into the final third of the opposition. With this result, Army will remain at the bottom of the table, still looking for their first point of the season. Meanwhile, for Cebu, they'll push on into third place, where it is all very tight in those top 4 spots. Currently just 4 points separating the top and 4th spot. Shaping up to be a very exciting race this season of the Philippines Football League. And there is a 9th for Cebu. Finally, the Japanese connection working out. Leo Makiling shot is blocked by Viray, and the rebound snapped up to make it 9-2 in favor of the home side. This time, no mistake from close range. It is well and truly party time at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex. 9 goals scored against the Army.
For Cebu, the trajectory, the trajectory for Cebu, you'd think that they are really fighting for that top 4 spot. So you know that they're on the way up. But as for Philippine Army, as the second half of this season commences and they are still showing that there are a lot of areas that they need for improvement, you'd really have to think how would they be able to go to the next level, or at least be able to meet their next goal.
It does look all rather grim for Philippine Army at the moment. There are quite a few more days in the window, and you wonder if it's time for them to really get busy boosting their squad. One thing is for certain, some changes are necessary for Philippine Army if they are to become a competitive side once again in the top tier of Philippine football. It certainly can't keep going on like this. On the wrong end of a 6-2 defeat to Tuloy just a few days ago. This time a 9-2 loss against Cebu. suppose if you're looking for silver linings, Glenn, at least they're scoring goals again. That's 4 they've scored in their last 2.
Which does tell us that they have that grit and quality to really do the finishing, but they really have to plug up the holes here because their defense right now is no better than Swiss cheese at the moment. But looking at that prospect of transfers, I do remember at one point in time that Army did field players that are not enlisted personnel of the Philippine Army. So I think that signing players that aren't enlisted isn't really outside of the question. There's still that possibility, but perhaps they really have to have the willpower that they want to stay here.
And this is a disastrous way to cap off the contest as Leo Makiling is bundled over inside the box. Miscue from the goalkeeper was pounced upon. They're looking to make it a double-digit scoreline here. Leo Makiling cramping up at the final moments. And it looks like an opportunity here to add an exclamation from Kaito Asano, 24-year-old Japanese forward. Asano buries it for Cebu. And it is a perfect finish for the home side as they make it 10 goals to 2.
They join Nila Digger in capping up this match day with a double-digit win.
And there is the final whistle, the perfect return on home soil as Dynamic Herbs Cebu brush aside Philippine Army in quite some fashion. It finishes 10-2. And that will do it from the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex. For my partner, Glenn Casas, my name is Jing Hamlang. Thank you for watching the Philippines Football League.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victorious Philippine FC Philippine Army